Hello, viewers. Welcome again to our favorite family show, The Living Room, right here on Equa TV International. We didn't say Africa, we are international. So today we'll be talking about holiday activities. Many times children come home, parents don't know what to do. So we'll discuss today what we'll do or we could do with our children during the time that they are on holiday so that their holiday period will be memorable, useful, and something they can always look back to, even when we're recounting family memories and great things that have happened in our families. My name is Amaka Ocheke, and on set here with me, my Auntie Theresa Madu. Professor Theresa Madu is here.
Good evening, viewers.
Yes, my sister, Mrs. Ivy Namo.
Good evening, viewers.
And Uncle Jerry, who has been away for very long, Reverend Jerry Farouk. We are so happy to see him. He has abandoned us. He has forgotten about us. But the Lord has touched his heart. And he has decided to come back to his brethren and join us. Uncle, you are very welcome, and we're excited to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Hello, viewers.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about holiday activities, what we do. So let's start with talking about the holiday. What is it all about, and why? Maybe I'll start with you, Mrs. Namo, since you are the educationist. Why do schools give holidays? Why don't we just run school activities throughout the year from January to December, no break? Since we want serious children, want our children to learn, why are there holidays? And in Nigeria, it's like 3 holidays in a session.
Well, I would, most times the first term, second term holiday are not really holidays because it falls into festivity period. That's why Nigerians decided to put holidays within those periods.
So most of them are about a month.
Yeah,
3 weeks to
3 weeks, 1 month, and you know there are activities, especially the December one. There's a lot, but the real holidays is the long vacation holiday, the summer holiday, if you like. And I think it is for students to rebound. You have worked from September to July. It's time to take a break, to rewind, to look at the things you have done, the things you have not done, to pick up yourself again so that you are going into a new class. Most times in secondary school, primary school, when you are coming back after September, you are going into a new class. So you are now ready to face your new class. You were in primary 1 before, now you are coming to primary 2. You have looked at all the things you did wrong when you were in primary 1. You want to build on it.
You're supposed to look
yes,
at the things.
you are supposed to look at the things. Okay, so I think very much that's why the holiday is there, so that people can work on themselves. They can also rest the brain and, come back again alive to face the new challenge.
Okay, Uncle Jerry, would you want to add something to that?
Yes, naturally, everybody needs some rest. God himself rested on the 7th day after creation for 6 days. So that's a standard that God has set for us, that you don't walk yourself to death. Neither do you school yourself to death.
Exactly.
There is time to refresh, there is time to relax, there is time to leave the books alone and do something else that will help the brain, to grow in its capacity.
Okay.
So it's not just books. The total man is beyond just academics. There is more beyond that, and that's what the holiday will provide for the students when they are not in school.
Auntie Tess, would you want to speak to that?
When all these experts have said it, what else can I add other than to say that in general, education is structured in such a way that you complete things in bits and pieces. So you complete a term, you complete a semester, and then you take a break and you take on another one.
Okay. So you have time to do certain things in between before you take on another task, another level of learning. This is important. I wanted us to raise these issues because I know that there are parents who just want their children to be learning 2-4-7 12 months a year, no break, no stop, children. But parents, I hope we understand that there needs to be a break. People need to break, people need to slow down and rejuvenate before they come back and start learning all over again. So during the holiday, there's something Mrs. Namo raised about looking back at how the work was done during the past session and preparing for the next session. I think one of the first things that should happen during the holiday is children come back with results.
We look at
Yeah.
them.
Look at them. So let's start with looking at results, because parents, I see some parents just ask, what was your position? First. Oh, very good. Oh, you came third. Oh, wow, last. Why? And that's the end. But I think maybe we should also discuss details of what they need to look at in your children's results, so that you settle that and put that aside before we start the holiday, other holiday activities. So, Auntie Madu, let's start with you.
I think this might be like a recap.
Yeah.
In past sessions, we had said the results tells us a lot of things about that child. It tells us what his or her strengths are and areas where they are struggling, and it can even tell us where they are actually gifted. So if you collect a child's results, you need to look at the results subject by subject, and then look at the class averages where they fall in. I hope we're reminding viewers that you don't go telling your children that when I was your age, I was this, I was that, I was that, and,
very
and you were neither of those. I think we should give the praise and the criticisms in a balanced way, and the criticisms must be constructive. If you notice that the child is not doing well in math, and math is a requirement for proceeding beyond either
level.
primary or secondary school, you need to encourage them. Almost everybody I know can do bare minimum passing of the basic subjects that require them to go further. So I would say look at the subjects, subject by subject. And then lastly, go look at the character criticisms. You know, they would say something about their performance. And sometimes that can give us an inkling to what that child goes through while they're at school and you can see. I remember that one of my children was not very expressive, but very good. So the subjects are indicating that the child is doing very well. But when it came to character development, they said, this person is too quiet, needs to be more assertive. So it becomes a clue to you as to what to do with the children and ask. I can make the whole viewers laugh. My grandson is just turned 6, and the pictures reveal that he goes around the classmates but does not interact with them.
Okay.
And what is the reason? He said his own senior brother interacted and he kicked somebody and he got punished. He said, you see, when you interact with people, but generally he's not sociable. So, you know, he's just looking for an excuse. So that comment on character can help us know how this child behaves when he's in school, when he or she behaves in school. Sometimes they say they are restless. On another child, they may say, we're yet to see this child's best performance. So it tells you that while the child is doing well on subject by subject, he or she could be better than what they are doing.
Okay. Mrs. Namo, what
Yeah,
else do you think we look
and
at
like
results?
most schools, you see that at the end of the session, they actually give a cumulative of the entire
Performance
result.
of the- for
Yes,
the
they
year.
do not just, okay, first term they give results, second term, but usually at third term, they also give you a spreadsheet of the result from first to second to third term. And they also give you the total average, which helps you to know that the child is moving up or is going down. Because sometimes maybe you check the first term and the second term you didn't take your time to check. But when they bring the total and you check the entire average, you'll be able to know whether this child is moving forward or is draining back. And then the subject areas too. If you check the subject, you know where the child is weak. If the child will need extra help during the holiday, you can sort for. My children, as in SS2 and SS3, we had to seek for help for the boys for maths. We discovered that they were having problems. So at third term, we had to seek for help for the math, so that because we know now they are preparing for WAEC and they need to pass WAEC, and we do not want them to pass all the subject and come out with F or E in WAEC.
have to rewrite it.
So we looked for help during the holiday because we know that they have problems with this particular area. So checking the result helps you to know that, so that you can help the child. Like she said, the character area to help you to discuss with the child. You know, as a counselor in secondary school, we've resumed to a new session, and parents come up to me and say, "Ma, look at this. This was written about my child. What do you advise we should do?" That tells me that the parents actually took time to look at it, you know. So if you don't look at these things, you may not know that the child is struggling or having issues in school.
Okay. Reverend Farouk.
Yeah, when we said that some parents say, what position did you take? And then they're either happy or not happy. The position does not really say the
much.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Just compares you to the
Just
performance
compared
of the
to
class.
the performance of the others. Yeah, you could be an average student that is able to do many things, you know, and then your position doesn't show that you are leading, but you are not a bad student. So looking at the details helps you to know that no, even though he is 13 or 15, it's not that he is backward.
And
You know,
it's even possible that somebody, in quotes, comes last in
And
a
yet-
class of very good students, and he did well in
Right.
all the subjects.
Yeah.
but
Right.
Somebody has to come last.
first.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's why, like ACE, they don't just reward academics, they reward every performance, because we believe that a child will have something he or she does well in.
Of course.
So there's nothing like, okay, first, second, third, and then that's the end. They reward cleanliness, they reward quietness in class, they reward time, they reward all of this. So at the end of the day, every child has something to
good
go
about them.
said about them.
That is an American educational system.
What is wrong with
It is
American?
not
But we use it in
Let me
SE.
just
Okay,
say
let her explain now.
Let me
explain.
You know, I
No,
was,
Uncle Jerry is
I
an
was
American.
I was in France, and we were
black one for
talking
that
about
matter.
comparative advantage of children. You know, the American system, they have wonderful adjectives for every small kind of performance. And I think people are simply thinking that they are wonderful when, if you place them by a Chinese
Child, nothing.
or a Nigerian child, and they are not as competitive. So yeah, the ACE program might be saying this and that, but I think if your child is in an ACE program, you also need to know that they need to compete with other children whose
Ultimately.
parameters are not like that. You know, like our British system, they'll say try harder. Try harder. You always see good effort. Try harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
That
must
was being comical.
but it's to put things in perspective.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
yes,
was
Put
just
things in
being
perspective.
comical.
Uncle Jerry, you were still talking.
No, I'm
Okay, done with
Just
that
complimented
point. So I just wanted us to raise these issues because I noticed that many parents really don't take time to look at results. You just look at the final thing, oh, he came first, very good. Let's go for ice cream and that's it. But that child can come first and the whole class, because I remember, I think when I was in Form 3 in secondary school, Form 3 first term, I came third, but our result was very bad. I think my average that term was 58 or 59, something ridiculous like that. So you can imagine the whole class, we like did badly. But you could have looked at the result and say, oh, third position, very good, but that wasn't a good result. That wasn't a good result. So parents were just raising this issue so that you take time during this holiday period to look at your children's results, see what they are doing well, where they are doing well, where they are not doing well, both in the academics, behavior-wise, and all that, and then have a plan on what to do to help them. Maybe another edition, we're going to talk on how to help your kids, because if we go there, we may not finish what we decided to talk on today. So maybe we'll plan for that, on what to do and how to help our children deal with those issues that come in the report card. Now, we're done with results. We've scolded those who need to scold. We've
And
encouraged
don't
those.
overscold. You know, we have said it on this program that parents, particularly mothers, can harp, as in HARP. You talked about it last week. You talk about it tomorrow. If there's anything, you keep saying
Anytime the
that is
child
how you
makes
did
a
and you
mistake,
didn't pass.
you
You know,
didn't
But is it only mothers that have on results? I think daddies have more results.
No,
than
I
other
think
things.
when daddies
mothers-
have, it's only
mothers
once.
have a lot.
Yes,
Okay, they
it's
talk about it once,
and it's gone.
and it's
But
gone.
When
mothers
it
You
happens
go
over
over it
and over.
again and again,
over
and they keep
and over
reminding you
again.
So
about
bottom
it.
line,
And
mommy,
that-
stop
and that-
nagging. That's it.
That's
That's
the
the
word I
word.
wanted to use.
Mommy, stop nagging.
Nagging.
Stop nagging. You two, you don't like people nagging you.
Exactly.
So once you've talked about the result, we've discussed it, what the problems were, way forward, what to do, institute, and you need to institute the measures to make sure that there's change.
Right.
It's done.
No, but I think we should also add strengthening their self-esteem.
Yes, exactly.
Because the result is bad, but the child is not bad. So
Exactly.
we need to work harder and keep recognizing some other things as
Yeah, they are doing well.
they are doing well, so that they are not destroyed in terms of
Completely.
self-esteem.
And to let them know that they have the capacity to do well. You know, he
do
said
well, yeah.
it's difficult to find anybody who can do at least average,
Average.
in subject. So it's to encourage them that
we
you
believe
can
that
do
there is
it.
no child who is dull, if you like. This issue of you are too dull. There is no child.
like that.
Every person can do
Do
well.
something well.
So it's when you encourage the child. You know, even
No,
this
let's leave
maths,
this thing. We will not finish it.
Eh,
We'll come and talk
especially
about it another day. We'll come and talk about it, English, maths, and how we can help our children get
Yeah.
better. Let's leave this one and move on to other holiday activities. We're done with the results. We're no more nagging. Nagging mothers,
stop.
we are repenting, including me. Including me, because I know sometimes when they do something, I'll say, hey, now your mouth is sharp. But ordinary maths, you didn't pass. So, under God, though, we are repenting. Lord, please help all of us to do well and stop nagging these children, because I know it's very bad nagging. Okay, now we're done with the results. We've made the changes and all that. So, let's move forward. What do we do during the holiday? Now, I want us to break it down to different areas, or is it thematic areas, so that we can cover many things. I want us to start with the spiritual things we can do during the holiday to help our children before we now go to so many extracurricular activities. What can we do during the holiday period to help our children spiritually? Because I've realized that spirituality and spiritual growth of our children will not happen by diffusion or by osmosis. You need to be deliberate. There needs to be some deliberateness about it. And this holiday time is time to focus on it. And I think we've mentioned that before, to also advise parents as much as possible. Those who can take leave, take your leave when your kids
Exactly,
are on
yeah.
break. Take your leave when your kids are on break, so that you can have more family quality time and all that. So spiritual things, what can we do to help our children grow? Because if we haven't prepared them at home, when they leave us, we may not like what we see. So what can we do? Uncle, let's start with you as the reverend.
There are two things that institutions usually prepare during the holidays. Either a camp or Bible school.
Okay.
Okay, so if any of these two are available to you and your children, please let them attend a camp. And usually the camps are organized according to age group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they get to go together with their age group, and they deal with issues that are at their level. Of their, so camps are very good. If you can, if there is one, let them go. If there isn't, they usually have a vacation Bible school where they go and they teach them basic things in scripture that they can learn. But if none of this is available, then you as a parent should take every vacation and take one item after the other. One could be teach them how to have a quiet time and model it. Let them see you do your quiet time, and then help them to know how to have a quiet time, and then encourage them to learn that. You don't have to teach them how to do quiet time, how to do personal Bible study, how to
All in one holiday.
All in one holiday. Take one, because there are other, like I said,
Other
earlier,
holidays are
there
coming.
are other holidays coming, and there are other areas of life. We are going to go to social and then all of that. So take one thing and let them learn that very well during this holiday, and then you can go
Plan
on
for
to
something
other
else
things
next
in the
holiday.
next holiday.
Now, just to raise the issue of camps, I know there are many parents who don't like their children out of their sight. So what do you think about camps? Do you think it's a safe place to send your children? Uncle Jerry had talked about it, but what do you think from your own experience working with children? Is it a safe place to send children?
Yeah.
Are there other advantages?
Camps are very good because I have attended a few camps with children. I've also worked in a few camps. There is Storm camps, there's the CEF camp, there's CEM camp. Even
Equa
some
Youth
churches,
Alive.
yes, some churches
Equa
even
Youth Alive, yeah.
organize camps for the children. I remember one of these Anglican church organized for all Anglican children camps. When I was also working with the bishop, we used to organize girls camp, only girls camp, and so camps are good. Maybe you should check what is going on in this camp. Who are those organizing it? Do you know them? Are you sure you can entrust your children into their hands? So if you have checked, you should do a background check of all of these things. You can release your children to camp. They are not going to die in 1 week or be corrupted in 1
I think
week.
the other benefits of a camp is the kind of independence and
Exactly.
the weaning of the child from
Your strengths.
you're always looking out for the child, doing things for the child. At camp, they do things by themselves.
themselves.
They get up, they bath, they take care of their belongings, and then they know how to relate with people in their age range. So but like Ivy said, we'll check out the camp ahead, and I think for parents, we should also be committed to praying through these processes.
Exactly.
The only thing I would have added to what Reverend also said is that since we are planning to take vacation time, and on an average day when you are doing school run or other things, quiet time seems to be squeezed into a very short time. One of the things you can do during the vacation is take it easy.
Yes.
Just take it easy. Lengthen the time of devotion. Allow people to ask questions. If they are under 7, your devotion can range from people asking why God didn't stop the storm. Very, very, very philosophical questions. Some you have answers to. So I would advise that let's slow down and have longer times of devotions, especially at weekends, because we don't have the pressure of school run.
Okay, so
Like Daddy Farouk said, I think we should also teach the children how to do the quiet time, not just say,
Assume they
go
know it.
and do your quiet time. You have not done your quiet time. What is wrong with you? A big boy like you. You don't know how to sit with him. Bring your Bible. Read it together with him. Show him how to do this thing. Let him grow seeing you. Mentor them. Let them grow seeing you do it. Let them learn from you. Because some of them even argue, oh, I want to do quiet time. I don't know what to do. Okay, and some of them, when you give them time to go and do, in 10 minutes they are out.
what do you say 10
And you
minutes?
say,
In my house, I've had people finish quiet time 2 minutes. They read
I-
the Bible, they pray, they've done everything,
But they
and
had
they come
it.
out.
They had it.
But when you ask what they learned, they can't tell you. They say, oh, I've forgotten. I'm like,
that
Yeah,
means,
we want
so
to
that's
fulfill all righteousness because mommy said
because
don't
they
do
know
it.
mommy is going to ask
Yeah,
them, have you done?
yeah.
So it's good to sit in with them. Sometimes bring them all together. Hold your Bible, everybody. Oh yeah, time for quiet time, everybody. And then you sit in with them. You are doing. They are writing something down. Maybe you should even check, what did you write? Let's compare notes. What have you learned? Let's compare. Not just
But I
make
think we
it
should
like
also
a
give
fight.
them aids.
Yes.
There are lots of aids out
Aids,
there.
yeah.
I think right now the FCS guides are tailored towards young adults, and other adults. But also, like when I remember that when our children were really, really young, Every Day with Jesus had the young
children's one.
and they didn't like the thing, but they liked the magazine stories and the puzzles and everything. Either way, we're
even
getting God's word
quiet time.
inside.
There's one that is quiet time that is, can't remember the organization that publishes it, but their office is somewhere on Rayfield Zaramagada Road. There's a lot of space for coloring, painting, drawing, doing activities, puzzles, and all that. After you've read the lesson, the Bible passage, and then their questions to answer.
So
I think
parents buy
children-
the aids, give them the aids.
to make it interesting and interactive for them at that age.
Age.
So we try to teach them different things: quiet time, how to do Bible study, how to pray, but we shouldn't overload them with
Them,
everything in one holiday. Uncle said that there's time, so we can take one for every holiday and model it for them, not just say this, but show them, even from your own practical life, what to do. Okay.
But they can also find out whether there's a CEF children's club around your vicinity. That
you
is
can
once
attend.
a week. You go, you meet with other children, sing, learn Bible verses.
Okay. All right. We've looked at some spiritual things. Okay. Social things. What can we do? Holiday time activities. What can we do socially?
Children like to have fun,
Exactly.
and we have to plan for them to have fun. And just is depleting in terms of where to go.
Because of the security issues.
No, I think we haven't just invested in tourism and all of that. But as bad as the things are, there are places to go to,
Auntie, I know some places to go, but I'm scared to go.
like the zoo.
No,
Or the wildlife
zoo, not
park.
zoo, wildlife park, but like the Asop Falls, the Kiana Springs, you know, and I think I'm like, I don't know, we don't want any strange beings to attack us or something.
There's
So-
also
so I'm scared.
There's a fall right by Miango Rest Home too. There's a fall.
Who's
there
going
that's
to Miango now?
beautiful.
Everybody's scared. It's a security situation. But I guess there are things we can look out
Actually,
prayerfully. I'm just raising the issue that I think sometimes one of the problems is that people are afraid now.
I
Well,
think
let's not limit.
But it shouldn't stop us
thoughts
from planning for
just
it,
because,
Okay, Uncle is saying don't stop just so people are going to
go to
Dubai.
Abuja, abi?
Some people are going to Italy.
You
and
know,
other
the
places,
problem
but
has
I'm not
always
calling
been
names.
there is no money. But if you plan ahead,
yeah,
you
can do it.
Thank you.
If you plan ahead, you can do it. You know, this thing about I don't have money, you have not planned. If you plan, there are some money that you are using for what is not relevant now.
Sure.
If you keep small aside, you can even look at you and your husband who knows how to keep money better. You say, okay, you are the one that will keep our
save.
holiday purse for us. Every small money you have, you throw it into the holiday purse. Before you know it, by holiday time, you have enough
Something,
money to
yeah.
do whatever you want to do. Take your children on trips.
So we think, because I think travel is education too.
Travel
Right?
is
It's
Take them on
educative.
trips,
So
you know.
can travel.
You
Yeah,
can't just take them
out
to
of
your
your
village.
vicinity.
Every time, say, let's go to village.
but can
That
go-
is good.
No,
good.
it is
but-
good,
but-
but it's just
But
not...
one thing about village,
Yes.
that's something I've thought about. I'm like, next time if we go to the east again, I think I would take them to educational sites
Yeah.
because
Yes.
every state has places to
Yeah.
go. Like in Niger,
Yes.
there are
So
the
many-
places where they do the carving, the brass
the
and
glass
all that. And
work.
people go to Niger, nobody thinks about it. Even Lagos, nobody thinks of going to Badagry,
Badagry,
where they did slave
the
trade.
slave-
where- And I've made up my mind too that the next time we go to Lagos, we're going to look for those places. Even the National Museum, theatre,
Yeah.
let them go and see. Those are things. Not just to say we went to Lagos and we went to, what is that? Those
Lekki.
fast food joints. And then we went to one beach and we're okay. But there's so many other places we can go that won't even cost us so much. But we need to think and plan. Not just money, but you can Google what are the interesting sites people can see in Niger, in Kaduna.
Calabar is there.
Yeah. So you look out for those things and be deliberate about it so that we can
And you know, even here on the plateau, the people go around, see these mining ponds, and they don't know what
What
is the
it's all
story
about.
behind the mining ponds. And we can give a history, and children have an understanding that this is where I school, these are the significant things.
Yeah. Okay. So fun, and then we've also, I think we have agreed, though not consciously, that having fun doesn't necessarily have to. You don't have to necessarily break a bank.
No.
No.
But you do have to plan.
You
Yeah,
do
you
have
to plan.
plan.
Yeah, you don't have to break a
Yes,
bank. So we can all do it.
But we can also make children look forward to it because if they know there is going to be a great thing, they will look forward to it. They will talk about. They will even save towards it themselves.
Yes,
You know.
even the children will save towards it.
But if you are telling the children, be sure that you plan to do it. Oh.
Yes.
Not
That's
after raising their hopes. Then last
Hopes,
minute say,
yeah. I have one
in the office they
thing.
said
Something came
you can't.
up,
No, you can't deal with that disappointment.
That's
so
right. That's
let's
right.
not disappoint the children. Let's be sure we're going before we tell them that we're going. Okay, it's time to go on break. So viewers, we're going on break. When we come back, our number will be on your screen so that you can call to contribute to this conversation and ask questions. We'll be talking about holiday activities. So break time, and please be back here when we're coming back. And then you can go to our Facebook page too and make your comments and ask your questions. We're also looking at that. Okay, welcome back, viewers, from the break. We've been talking about holiday activities right here in the living room, Equa TV International. And in the studio here with me talking about this holiday thing, holiday activities, have been Professor Theresa Madu, Mrs. I.B. Namo, Reverend Uncle Jerry Farouk, our runaway uncle who we're now seeing. Well, we've promised not to nag. We've told him once, we won't say again, Uncle, sorry.
Thank you.
So we're talking about holiday activities. We had agreed that when your children come back, we look at the results, look at them very well, make comments, decide what to do to remedy whatever needs to be remedied, encourage them. If they've done well, say you've done well. If they haven't done as well, you can do much better. And I believe you can do much better. We've talked about spiritual activities we can do during the holiday, teaching them, but don't crowd everything you want to teach them spiritually in one holiday. Take it bit by bit. We've talked about social activities we could do, but we need to plan. We agreed that we need to plan. In short, everything we're doing during the holiday, it's better to plan. So plan, save, and encourage the children to look forward to it. You don't have to break a bank to have social activities and fun during the holiday. Viewers, our number is on the screen, so you can call in to ask questions or make comments or paste your comments on our Facebook page. Solomon, thank you for your message, encouraging us and encouraging the Equa churches who are doing holiday Bible programs. Please, churches, please keep at it to keep our children engaged positively during the holidays. Okay, now other things we do during the holidays. Let's look at physical things we do. Skills. What can our children do or learn during the holidays? Okay, Auntie, you know you're the entrepreneur person.
Oh, you know, some basic survival skills at home. Learning how to cook, learning how to clean very well, or even learning a trade, as the case might be. But like girls, the last set of children we had here, one of them said that she's already learning how to bake. In fact, she hopes to be a chef in the future.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
there are many dimensions to learning life skills at home. But I would say, number one, at least let them learn how to cook. That is something that they will survive on when they get into the university or tertiary institution, or even when they live there by themselves. And as children are even approaching SSC, some parents should begin to be relaxing a little. You'll be doing the eba and the pounded yam. Me, I'll be doing the major soup while I mentor you on the soup thing. But apart from those kind of cooking skills, we have mentioned here that young adults need to learn how to drive. Driving and driving properly is a life skill that they must know. But there are other things also that, like learning a trade. One of my daughters learned how to paint. And it was amazing because we would ask people to come and renovate the house for us every 3 years. We didn't know that she was a very good student of the thing. And one vacation, she wanted to be independent and move into one of the rooms by herself. And she took on the project. She repainted the entire room. If your child can repaint, you can't tell. If your child can paint, you don't know the money they are saving you.
Exactly.
They are saving you. So there are all of these kind of things. Or as a whole family, you can do a project. You can do a particular project. I think I've said it here on TV many times that I used to plan for a set of chickens if one of the children was graduating from secondary school, so that the time between when you graduate and when admissions come out, you are gainfully employed. I would pay a little amount of money. But it also taught them how to do financial management, because my own money was good for spending, but their own money was good
for saving.
Their own money was good for doing things that were more important to them than my own money. So these are the kind of things that we can help children do at home. I don't know whether that is social. I think it's survival.
Survival skills, physical skills. But
Going
from
back
what
to
you're saying,
cooking.
there has to be a deliberateness and planning. Uncle.
Going back to cooking, please let us not exclude the boys.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
They have made the mistake on us where our parents thought only the girls should be taught how to cook and the boys should not. So I've grown up to be not even a bad cook, a no cook at all. You know, the other day I boiled water and I left it to
Evaporate.
And the pot follows.
So even boiling water was a problem for me. So let's teach the boys also to cook, because they are going to universities sometimes when they will have to cook for themselves.
And they will live on their own.
And
too.
they will live on their
Yeah,
own.
they are
And
not
when
going
they
to
get married, they are going to
immediately.
help their wives to
Yeah.
cook.
So
You know, I
things
try
that
to
parents can
compliment
do.
my not cooking with other things, and my wife has appreciated that. But I want my sons and my grandchildren to be able to know how to cook, so that when the mother or the wife is sick or unable to, you don't go looking for somebody outside. There should be
The
somebody in
children
the house.
actually like the cooking of the fathers.
Yes.
Even if they
Usually men are
even
very
if they
good
cook soup with groundnut oil,
Yes.
it's still daddy's
This
soup,
soup.
and it's probably sweeter than mommy's soup. But can I just provide some help too? I think families also need to have a menu. When you have a menu, it's easier to mentor the children into it. So what we did, since ASU and the university unions are on strike, and we had like 5 fairly adult children in the house, we just they rotate, both the boys and the girls. Today this boy is on duty, he does breakfast, lunch and dinner, and does the dishes and keeps the kitchen clean.
Tomorrow is
The
somebody
next
else.
day is the girls,
that's a
so
beautiful one.
they've been really learning. And we now know that all those their claims that they were cooking in school, we now know that the boys were not cooking in school. But it has become a finishing school, like for at least they can cook okra properly, they can cook small egusi,
I don't know whether this is what did we call it? Is it mental skill? They like the training that was announced in church on Sunday.
Data
analysis. Holiday can be a period for learning.
Yes.
Learning new things that you're not doing in school. You go out, join a particular thing. It's not just trade, like data analysis may not be a trade,
But it's a skill.
It's a skill. So you go out, holiday period can be a time when you send children to learn. Maybe even those who are in the university, during their holiday, they can enhance what they're learning. Those who are doing computer studies can begin to learn how to do. There's one that my son was talking about, that he wants to learn how to do
Maybe programming
and all of that, and they may not be teaching them in school. So we had to look for a place where he will go and learn it.
And now there are so many online courses.
Yeah,
Too, so people
and then the one that loved music, they didn't do music in secondary school, and she's reading law. Nobody is going to. So holiday period were periods she takes time to go and join some music school to learn some of those skills, learn how to play musical instruments. So look for what does this child like doing. What is their flair? Send
Their
them
passion.
to go and passion. Send them to go and do something in that area during the holiday.
I
It would
forgot
be
to
of help.
mention that computer literacy is something that they can begin
Peak
to learn
during the
even
holiday.
from
It's
secondary
compulsory.
school.
Everybody
Yeah.
must be computer literate.
Yeah.
In this day and
So
age.
during the holiday, we can intentionally put them on computer literacy so that they grow with it as the case might be. And then even fashion designing, I've discovered that a lot of boys and girls are talented with wonderful designs. Let's encourage them to step up the thing, and then parents invest in a sewing machine,
Yeah.
invest in a
The
computer.
sewing machines I heard are very expensive now. So I asked recently, they said the single machine is like 80K. That's a lot of
What
money.
did you think? But
Oh,
it's
it's
what
okay.
is
It's not
sewing machines
expensive.
remained about 20,000 for many years, more than
Many,
10 years.
yes.
It remained at 20,000, then suddenly it's.
But if
went
you
up.
have more
Got to
than one
80.
child, that is worth the investment.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
it's
And by the
worth
time
it.
they
Yeah.
make 3, 4, 5 outfits, it will kneel that investment.
During the youth week, the boy who spoke before Dan, he talked about his farm.
Yeah, Enoch.
Enoch. He talked about his farm, and he said his parents invested in him. I don't know what he studied in school, but here is a boy who has a passion for farming, and he brought it up, and the parents encouraged him. So some of these things can be encouraged during the holiday. You have a son who is always talking about farming, or he's talking about pig, or he's talking about chickens. During holiday is a time to test this.
After they test, when they go back to school, what will happen to the pig?
No, it can
leave
be
it for
just
me?
no, I'm not talking about. Okay.
why should you leave anything for me, oh?
It might be a small. You take on a small project.
No, I'm
first
just
for
what I'm raising it
starters,
is
yes.
that you must think of continuity when you
Continuity
go back
when
to
they are
school.
out of
Don't leave like me. Don't leave the animals for me.
But do you know that even when they are going back to school, they think about
Their
they think about
animals,
whether
yes.
the pets or the assignment that they are not irresponsible.
They are
No,
not.
I'm
yes.
just raising it just in case. So nobody should give me pig and go back to school. I'm not taking every
See,
chicken.
if they want to take on a project, you sit down to discuss it. This project, what is the expiring date? So that it doesn't affect your resumption. Then you can invest in it. And then when they are through with school, maybe before they start going to the university, it's another opportunity to invest in them.
But culinary arts like baking, you can do in segments. You can learn one part
One part
this
of it.
year, you
This
can
year,
learn
the
another
second
part
part
next
next
year.
year, yeah.
And I'm not holding forth ITF. I'm not holding forth for ITF, but ITF runs skills acquisition skills.
For everybody, is it
Yeah,
open to the public?
but if you apply and you fall within that
The
time,
period,
and
okay.
I recommend.
Okay. She's not holding forth for ITF,
But
she's
I'm giving a
recommending.
free advertisement.
Okay, and that culinary thing is good. I did it for my children. I think in church, there was a time there was a cooking class 3 or 4 years ago.
I remember.
So my 2 older children, I sent them. At least they learnt basic soups,
Yeah.
stew, basic baking, and then I think this ASU strike we've been on. My son registered for a baking class, so at least he's learned how to do basic cake.
Really?
And then, and we hear the last of it. He can bake. His friends in church, he told them, he baked for them too. I said, okay, that's good. So I told them I'm training them that their wives will come and thank me when it's time to get
I
married.
once knew a student
Yeah.
who read economics, but his mother, who was a medical doctor, Dr. Okon, you probably will remember.
Yeah,
her.
I know.
She schooled him in baking.
Baking. Yeah.
Do you know that he's making his most money from cakes?
Exactly.
And he has relocated to the US
Yes,
and has opened a restaurant and he's making it big. He's doing nothing near economics.
Economics, yeah.
So
Why would you say it's doing nothing near economics? organizing his business.
He's
The economic
economics.
is not coming in. He's doing something now. He's doing something. It's just that the baking is the
the
main thing.
baking,
But
yeah.
you know, you've said it before that every skill we learn, nothing is wasted.
Nothing is
We
wasted.
use
You
it
can use it
sometime,
in
somehow.
I
different
was
Yeah,
so
somehow.
impressed because he was one of the first people we learned who was doing what they call this fondant icing or something.
Fondant icing.
It was so
Fondant.
beautiful, so beautiful, and his mom mentored him in that. So we have live examples of people who have succeeded because of this mentoring, regardless of what they've read.
Okay, so they can learn skills during the holidays, knowledge, computer literacy, cooking, baking, things like carpentry, shoemaking.
Let's not forget sports too.
Sports. Okay, that's another
that's
thing.
right.
So they can have time for sporting
Sporting
activities,
activities, yeah.
especially if they are good at it, or even if they are just interested.
You can do family walks, do 2 or 3 kilometers on a Saturday together.
Yeah.
So what other things can we do as a family during the holiday, apart from, we talked about the social things, about traveling and all that, but what things can we do? I know many of the things we've mentioned would help family bonding, but I think we need to be deliberate about it, to organize and plan activities that will cause us to bond closer as a family. So what kind of things can we do without breaking the bank, Sha?
There's movie nights,
Yeah.
Very nice.
but there can be also storytelling. You know, a lot of these modern children do not know the history of their families.
Okay.
What happened, who this person is, and let's take every event to be a learning moment. One of my nephews walked up to me today, very boldly said, "I want to tell you all my things that are spoiled and need replacement, or I need." I found that very interesting because I'm like, where is this coming from? So we had a learning moment. We had to go back to stories my father told me when I was his age, and I kept asking him to repeat. I said, "What did your late grandfather tell you?" He said, "Be patient." I said, "That's what I'm telling you." So let's take time to tell them stories about what happened to their grandparents, what happened to us, and how they fit in with this
So
story.
story time. And I notice children like stories because whenever I
do.
come up with one story, my children are very interested. They're like, they'll keep asking more questions, more stories. So, yeah.
Let's pass the baton on.
Okay.
But there are other
the
activities.
devotion, the other activities in the house, the devotion time, maybe sometimes it's not just about reading the Bible and, sometimes it might be a time to just relax and talk about issues that
Right.
bothers on children, issues that bothers on the teenagers, issues that they are grappling with as they are growing, giving them opportunity we have family time, like she said, it's time to relax.
Ask questions freely.
Ask questions. What are you struggling with? Do you want a one-on-one time? Do you want us to talk about, is there an issue that you don't understand? Is there a question that is giving you tough time in scriptures? You talk about them. These things don't need money. It's just in the house. It's
And feedback on our parenting style, if you're prepared.
So that's also the time to do family meetings.
Yes.
If you are a family that has family meetings, people have family meetings so that we sit down, we have agenda to talk.
Discuss them.
So we say what our daddy, Uncle Jerry, has been doing that we don't like. And then what he's doing that we like.
Right.
Yes, and he too will tell us
What you are doing.
we-
And how
Yeah.
many
Don't
times
lie.
we want to go to Mr. Biggs?
We'll be all part of the discussion. So we talk as a family and see ways we can improve ourselves individually and as a family group. Uncle, you were saying something
What
before
about activities like going out fishing?
Yeah, that would be good.
Something like that.
Going swimming.
Swimming,
Hiking.
hiking, yeah,
As a
Fishing.
family.
fishing.
I'd like to go fishing. I've never gone fishing before.
Those
gone
activities
fishing,
give you an opportunity to see each other in a different light outside of the house.
Exactly.
You know how you react to issues. I remember one of the days we went out fishing with a group of friends, and that was one of the first times I was learning how to fish, and I didn't know what. I went and I I felt the weight, and so I said, "Yeah, I've got one," and it was actually
You reeled it in.
late Dr. Mase. He was coaching us, so he said, "Okay, reel it." I reeled it. He said, are you hearing anything? Do you feel anything moving? I said, "Yeah, it's heavy." And by the time I brought it out, it was a stone.
They said we should round up, bro. They said we should round up by time. Okay.
So
we
they
still have a
laughed.
few
They
more
laughed
minutes.
at me, but we got to
Bond.
bond with
yeah.
each other.
Really funny.
We
That's good.
understood, it was good that happened. So he showed me that, well, if the thing is not shaking, it means it's not alive.
Yeah.
So there are things like that you can do together as a family, and
interesting.
that would be good knowledge.
So that also will take deliberateness and
Yes,
planning.
yes.
It's not something you can't just wake up one day and say one morning
going
and say let's go
fishing.
fishing.
Yeah.
You need to check out the spots for fishing, where
Right,
there's
have the
fish,
right things,
and
yeah.
then get the right
Permission,
equipment
yeah,
and
equipment.
permission if needed to be able to go fishing. What else can we do before we wrap up?
Just enjoy yourselves.
Yeah.
Don't
So
take
play
life too
games too.
seriously.
Play games
Indoor
together,
games, outdoor games.
There are,
Take time to rest. Take time to rest.
Ludos are there. You
Monopoly.
have yeah.
Okay. All right. They said it's time up. So viewers, thank you very much for being with us till the end. We've talked about holiday activities, many things we've talked about.
William is
Okay,
telling us-
we have somebody from Facebook. Yes, what did he say?
William said, nice and well wishes to you all.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
William.
William.
And well wishes to you too. So please, let's make our holiday time very productive with our children. Let it not just be time that just passes
Or
through.
do holiday lesson. That I
Yeah.
hate.
But you said where there's weakness, you should try to
No,
make it
there
up.
is a weakness.
But
You
we
are
don't
addressing
spend
the
the whole
weakness,
holiday.
But
not
don't spend
just
the whole
We don't spend the whole
holiday.
holiday during
lesson.
lesson.
Exactly.
Okay, but we're going to talk about solving or dealing with issues we see in our children's
Yeah.
results. So thank you so much for all your contributions. Professor Teresa Madu, Mrs. I.B. Namo, Reverend Uncle Jerry Farouk, and Amaka Ocheke, me. Thank you very much for being with us. Looking forward to seeing you again. Same time, same place next week. God bless you and keep living for Jesus.
Amen.